Okay, so why do all the details and the descriptions matter so much to God? As you approach Exodus chapter 37 through 39, this is a huge, huge question. We're going to answer it today, and we're going to find out how it actually practically applies to our lives. Stick around to the end. So much is going on in these short passages of scripture. There's the tabernacle, which is being built. There's this gold lampstand, the altar of incense, the bronze altar for burnt offerings, the basin for washing is made. There's priestly garments that are woven, and it can kind of be overwhelming. And I'll be honest, a lot of people, when they read passages of scripture like this, especially in the Old Testament, the tendency is to pass right through them. The tendency is to look right over them, but I'm here to tell you that if you lean in, there's actually a lot going on in the text than maybe you realize. First and foremost, remember what's going on. Every time we read the book of Exodus, we can't forget the 400 years of slavery the Israelites just experienced. We can't forget that they've witnessed the Red Sea miracle, they've witnessed the plagues, they've witnessed God's power. And then very shortly after their exodus from Egypt, remember they construct this golden calf. They construct Yahweh into a version that was basically more palatable for them. Something that they could touch, feel, and recognize. And if you missed that video, you got to check it out. But listen to this. God in 37 through chapters 39, he's really correcting them in a lot of ways. He's actually saying, I know that you just made this goal. I know that you've just done that. I'm here to tell you that there's design and there's intentionality behind everything that I do, so much so down to every detail in the construction of some of these items. And something happens. There's a phrase that's echoed throughout these passages of scripture, and it sounds like this: just as the Lord commanded. That's in Exodus 37 verse 1. We find it time and time again, just as the Lord commanded. Just as the Lord commanded. Not close to what the Lord commanded, but in the exact way the Lord commanded. And God is developing his people to follow him just in the way that he commanded. I actually find this interesting because a lot of Christians pursue the Lord, but not in the way that he commanded, almost in the way that they want. And honestly speaking, it happens a lot when you don't read the Bible. Now, for you as a listener, you love the Bible. There's no reason why you'd be watching this video if you didn't love the Bible. By the way, if you love the Bible, make sure that you like the video. It really helps us out. But a lot of Christians, they love God, but they don't read the Bible, and they're unable to do things just as the Lord commanded because of their lack of the knowledge of Scripture. And so first and foremost, I would ask this question: are you doing things just as the Lord commanded? Why? Because what's important to God should be important to us. I'll finish with this story. Just this past week, I was sitting down for coffee with a friend of mine, and he's explaining some of the things that are tough and that are going on in his life. And I looked back at him totally serious, and I totally meant it. And I said, listen, because it's important to you, I want you to know that it's important to me. And then we proceeded to talk after that. And what God is trying to train his people in is like, if this is important to me, it should be important to you as well. And so some of the details can seem overwhelming, but they matter to God. And so I'd ask you this: what has God spoken to you or showed you, maybe even through the Bible, that's maybe pretty detailed, and have you been careful to obey it just as the Lord commanded? Hey, if you liked this video, if you think it'd be helpful for somebody else, share it with a friend, and we'll see you tomorrow.